Derek Lawson arrived at his sister's home in the gated community of Willow Creek Estates in Orlando, Florida, on the evening of June 15, 2023. He parked his unmarked sedan in the driveway, as he had done on previous visits. Derek, 42 years old and a veteran FBI agent with over 18 years of service, specialized in undercover operations targeting organized crime and public corruption. His reputation within the Bureau stemmed from successful infiltrations that led to the convictions of several high-ranking officials and syndicate leaders. Colleagues often refer to him as the agency's most effective asset in sensitive cases, though his identity remained protected due to ongoing threats. That evening, two men approached the property. They wore uniforms resembling those of local law enforcement, complete with badges marked HOA Security Enforcement. The men, later identified as Ronald Hayes and Victor Klein, both in their 50s, claimed authority under the Homeowners Association to enforce community rules. Hayes, the taller of the two, informed Derek that his vehicle violated parking regulations by extending slightly onto the sidewalk. Klein added that repeated violations warranted immediate detention and towing. Derek responded calmly, requesting to see official identification and documentation of the alleged infraction. Hayes produced a laminated card purporting to be from the HOA, while Klein reached for handcuffs attached to his belt. They insisted Derek comply or face arrest for non-cooperation. Derek noted discrepancies in their uniforms, such as mismatched patches and non-standard equipment, which raised his suspicions based on his training in spotting impersonations. As Hayes attempted to grab Derek's arm, Derek identified himself verbally as a federal agent and advised him to stand down. The men dismissed his claim, with Klein stating that they had dealt with similar excuses before. Derek then produced his FBI credentials from his wallet, displaying his badge and identification card. Hayes hesitated momentarily, but Klein pressed forward, attempting to apply the handcuffs. Derek executed a standard defensive maneuver taught in FBI training, disarming Klein without causing injury. He secured both men using their own handcuffs and contacted the local FBI field office via a secure phone. Within minutes, Orlando police arrived, followed by FBI support units. Initial investigations revealed that Hayes and Klein were not affiliated with the HOA or any legitimate authority. They operated as part of a fraudulent scheme targeting minority residents in several Florida communities, extorting fines and sometimes escalating to false arrests to intimidate victims into compliance or relocation. The FBI's involvement escalated the case. Derek's quick action led to the discovery of a broader network. Hayes and Klein had connections to a group that forged documents and impersonated officials to enforce unofficial rules in neighborhoods, often with underlying racial motivations. Records showed they collected over $50,000 in illicit fees from residents over the previous 2 years. Derek coordinated with the Bureau's Civil Rights Division to build a federal case against them. Court documents from the subsequent trial in the U.S. District Court for the Middle District of Florida detailed the events. Hayes and Klein faced charges of impersonating officers, civil rights violations, and wire fraud. Derek testified as a primary witness, recounting the encounter step by step. His testimony highlighted how his experience in undercover work allowed him to recognize the fraud immediately. The judge sentenced both men to 5 years in federal prison each, with additional restitution orders to victims. Derek's career prior to this incident included notable achievements. He joined the FBI in 2005 after graduating from Howard University with a degree in criminal justice. His first assignment involved counterterrorism efforts in the Washington, D.C. field office. By 2010, he transferred to organized crime units, where he infiltrated a New York-based syndicate responsible for money laundering. That operation resulted in 23 arrests and the seizure of $15 million in assets. In 2014, Derek led an investigation into corrupt public officials in Chicago. Posing as a contractor, he gathered evidence leading to the indictment of a city council member and several associates. The case received national attention, earning Derek the FBI Director's Award for Excellence. Threats from remaining syndicate members prompted the Bureau to enhance his security protocols, including limiting public disclosures of his identity. Derek maintained a low profile in personal life. He lived in a secure residence in Virginia, but frequently visited family in Florida. His sister, Alicia Lawson, a school teacher in Orlando, hosted him during the incident. She later stated in an interview with local media that she had no idea of the imposter's activities in the neighborhood until that night. The HOA, upon learning of the fraud, issued statements condemning the actions and implemented new verification processes for enforcement personnel. Following the arrests, the FBI expanded its probe. Agents uncovered similar schemes in 3 other states, Georgia, Texas, and South Carolina. Derek consulted on these cases, providing insights from his encounter. By late 2023, federal indictments targeted a loose alliance of individuals who shared tactics online through private forums. The operation dismantled a network affecting over 200 victims, many from minority communities. Derek received commendations from the Department of Justice for his role. In a Bureau memo dated September 20th, 2023, his supervisor noted that his composure prevented potential escalation and exposed systemic issues. Derek continued his duties, taking on a new undercover assignment in 2024 involving corporate espionage. Community responses varied. Residents of Willow Creek Estates held meetings to discuss security improvements. Alicia organized a neighborhood watch program, emphasizing vigilance against fraud. Derek spoke at one such meeting via video call, advising on recognizing legitimate authorities. Legal experts analyzed the case in journals. A 2024 article in the American Bar Association's publication examined impersonation laws, citing Derek's incident as a key example. It highlighted how federal agents' training equips them to handle such situations effectively. Derek's family supported him throughout. His mother, retired in Atlanta, expressed pride in media statements. She recalled his early interest in law enforcement, stemming from community experiences. Derek credited his upbringing for instilling values of justice and resilience. By 2025, the case influenced policy changes. Florida legislators passed a bill requiring stricter licensing for private security in HOAs. Derek testified before a state committee, sharing his perspective without revealing classified details. The incident also sparked discussions on racial profiling. Advocacy groups used it to advocate for reforms in community enforcement practices. Derek collaborated with the NAACP on awareness campaigns, focusing on empowering residents to question authority. Professionally, Derek advanced to a supervisory role in the FBI's Public Corruption Unit. He mentored younger agents, teaching techniques from his experiences. In training sessions, he referenced the Orlando encounter to illustrate real-world applications of protocol. Personal life remained stable. Derek married his partner, a fellow agent, in a private ceremony in 2024. They balanced careers with family visits, ensuring security measures protected their loved ones. The arrests of Hayes and Klein marked a turning point for affected communities. Victims received compensation through a federal fund established post-trial. Derek monitored the distributions, ensuring fairness. Media coverage evolved. Initial reports focused on the confrontation, while later pieces explored Derek's career. A 2025 documentary on federal agents featured a story anonymously, with details altered for safety. Derek reflected on the event in internal reports. He noted that his training prepared him, but community awareness was crucial. He advocated for public education on rights during encounters with authorities. The broader network's takedown involved coordinated raids. In January 2024, FBI teams arrested 8 additional suspects in Georgia. Evidence linked them to Hayes and Klein through financial transactions. Court proceedings for the network lasted through 2024. Derek's testimony in multiple trials reinforced the cases. Convictions followed, with sentences ranging from 3 to 10 years. Impact on the FBI included updated training modules. Modules incorporated scenarios like Derek's to prepare agents for personal encounters. Derek's awards accumulated. In 2025, he received the Attorney General's Award for his contributions to civil rights enforcement. Family dynamics strengthened. Alicia's children viewed Derek as a hero, inspiring their interest in public service. Community initiatives flourished. Willow Creek established annual safety seminars, inviting law enforcement experts. Derek's legacy within the Bureau grew. Younger agents sought his advice, and he authored internal papers on undercover strategies. The incident underscored the importance of identity verification. HOA's nationwide adopted badge scanning apps following Florida's lead. Derek continued fieldwork, adapting to new threats. His Orlando experience informed approaches to corruption cases. By September 2025, the case closed fully, with all appeals exhausted. Derek focused on future operations, maintaining vigilance. This account details a sequence of events, from the initial confrontation to long-term outcomes, based on available records and statements. To further elaborate, Derek's early career involved basic training at Quantico. He excelled in firearms and tactics, scoring top marks. Assignments progressed from surveillance to lead roles.